Okay, finishing up this chapter 6. So desktops and servers use adapter cards, right? And mobile computers use a form of it called USB adapters. So adapter cards are sometimes called expansion cards or adapter boards. It's a circuit board that enhances the functions of your already successful desktop or server. So an adapter card is any internal expansion card that allows the computer to communicate with another peripheral device. A good example is a monitor or a video card. So an expansion slot is a socket on the desktop or server motherboard that can hold this adapter card, right? You just plug the card right into it. An expansion slot is a socket on the motherboard, like I said, that is used then to insert an expansion card or this circuit card that you bought at the store, and it's going to provide those additional features to the computer, such as high-powered video or high-powered sound or advanced graphics, things like that. So two popular adapter cards are a sound card and a video card, which is sometimes called a graphics card. Now, today you also have plug and play technology. So that means the computer automatically can recognize these peripheral devices that you install in them. So plug and play supports means that you can plug a device in and then immediately begin using them. And so some of the adapter type cards are shown here. Here's the slide with the plug and play that I wanted to mention. Now, right now I'm using a plug and play keyboard. I plug a USB that's related to my keyboard into my laptop, and I live the plug and play experience right now. But things are often not so straightforward with networked devices. So this is actually extremely convenient from our perspective, you and me, the user, right? It decreases the complexity of setting up new devices. Unfortunately, and you want to be careful, this convenience can come with multiple vulnerabilities, and large-scale attacks can be exploited in this way. So outside of the scope of this course would be these types of attacks. But beware that there are risks with these plug-and-play devices. And you may want to research some of them if you're using them for your home or work networks. Okay, so because of their small size, mobile computers typically don't have an expansion slot. In fact, heck, most of these new computers don't even have a DVD or CD-ROM disk space any longer, right, as they try and compress them down. Instead, we can purchase a USB adapter, which is that dongle that we've talked about in earlier lessons, that plugs into a USB port to add memory or communications or multimedia or security or some sort of storage capability. I've even had a dongle that I can plug into a USB that is as a USB adapter that provides internet access via satellite. So the most common for most of us is a USB flash drive. It's a common USB adapter that provides additional storage capability. Okay. Now, remember the conversation earlier in this lesson about bits? Well, bits transfer internally within the circuitry of the computer along these electrical channels. So each channel is called a bus. And the bus allows the various devices to communicate with one another. So bits travel on a bus, right? Like little people, they get on a bus and they travel. Buses are used to transfer the bits from the input devices to the memory, from the memory to the processor, from the processor to the memory, and from the memory to output or even storage devices, right? All this stuff gets on a bus. A bus width, or the size of the bus, is what I'm talking about. It determines the number of bits that the computer can transmit at a single time. So you might have a 32-bit computer, 32-bit bus computer, which can transmit 32 bits or 4 bytes. Remember, there were the 8 octets, 8 or 4 octets per byte. So those are 32 bits, right? 8, 16, 24, 32. Forms 4 bytes at a time. Or a 64-bit bus can transmit 64 bits or 8 bytes at a time, right? Just faster processing speed. Now, this slide shows 2 different views of how this transfer takes place. So alternatively known as an address bus or data bus or local bus, right? The point is a bus is a connection between components or devices connected to a computer. So for example, a bus is going to carry data, as I mentioned, between a CPU and the system memory via the motherboard circuitry. So why do we even call it a bus, right? So think of a computer bus like really public transportation or a school bus, right? These types of buses are capable of transporting people from one destination to another. And like these buses, the computer bus transmits data from one location or device to another location. And so a computer bus maintains a strict schedule, picking up the data and dropping it off at regular intervals. So for example, if a bus operates at a frequency of 200 megahertz, it completes 200 million data transfers per second. Incredible. Now here we show 3 types of buses. These are discussed in more detail on page 6-23 of the readings. And finally, I want to touch on power supply. So standard wall outlet in your house is going to have an AC power of about 115 to 120 volts, I think the book said. I'm not an electrical expert, but I believe them. This is really, though, I do know, unsuitable for computer use. Computers require DC power, ranging from 5 to 15 volts. And so the power supply or AC adapter, it's going to, on your, where you plug in, you get this little box type pad where you, on your plug. The power supply, it's a laptop AC adapter. It's going to convert that wall AC power of 115 to 120 volts to DC power, which is 5 to 15 volts. Okay. And some more on power supply and batteries and the chapter summary. That wraps it up. I've enjoyed it. I hope you have too. Don't forget the discussions, your end of course project. Some of the weeks have homework assigned in addition, so please follow through on those. Read everything that's on the Moodle. And thank you very much. I look forward to hearing from you.